So, everybody, good morning and welcome. My name's Barry Wilson, for those of you that haven't met me before, and I'm currently the president of Hong Kong Institute of Urban Design. And you are, if you're in the right place, you're at our conference for New Urban Mobility, Healthy Change in the High Density City. And today is day 4 of 5 in Urban Design Week. So we've had a busy week already, and a lot of people here have already been involved in various speeches and webinars that we've had. We've had Dan Hill from talking to us from Melbourne about the work he's done on retrofitting streets on every street in Sweden, which was a fascinating subject. And we've had Will Norman, the Commissioner for Highways, for walking and cycling for the Mayor of London. He gave us a fascinating insight into how London was trying to change. Because actually, this subject today, there's 2 key words, I think: change and health. And those are the things that I really want to focus on in this area. Tomorrow we've got a workshop that will take all of the things we've learned from Urban Design Week, including today, hopefully package it together and come with some actions. And I've been talking this morning to Transport Department. We're going to bring our actions to you and discuss them more and see how we can push that agenda, which will be great. I think all the presentations we're going to see are focused around this theme of change. And not so much about solutions, but how can we change mindsets? How can we actually manifest change after we've gone through pandemic, after we're in the middle of technological revolution, and we've got all sorts of new solutions. And on top of that, we've got people who really understand the need for urgent change in climate emergencies. So we've got all these things converging. We cannot go business as usual. We have to change. So I would say the Hong Kong inventory report has indicated to us that the transport sector is the largest local air pollution source. 60% of carbon monoxide emissions come from transport, which is quite worrying. Other emissions, they come from diesel engines, NOx, volatile organic compounds, benzene. All these things are coming out and affecting the quality of our health on the streets. I mentioned to a few people yesterday, it's not just these exhaust emissions. Vehicles actually throw up brake dust, tire fragments, and even the road granules get into the air. So roadside pollution is still a big problem, and especially if you're a young child close to the ground breathing these emissions. While we've got this, we've got streets rapidly absorbing new vehicles in Hong Kong in particular. Private vehicles have been coming onto the road now at a rate of 4.6% for the last 2 decades. So we've seen a huge change in the use of our streets, which traditionally streets were a place of activity for people. They were a civic place where children could play, where you could trade goods. Now, the last century saw that go and road use start to dominate our streets. So we understand a lot of ways to change this, but we're struggling with the processes to leverage what's needed to make those changes happen. So I hope we're going to come up with some ideas today. I think the key is that leaders now need to understand that if they want to attract talents, and we've heard John Lee going on about, I'm going to Saudi to get talents, I'm going here to get talents. We need talents in Hong Kong. Talents are only going to go where they think they've got a quality living environment to live in. You know, and that starts with not just, do I get a good salary, can I get my kids in a good school? That's, can I walk out of my house and have clean air, not feel threatened on the sidewalks? Can I cross roads easily? Can I have a pleasurable experience going to work every day? And people will vote with their feet. If we've got noisy, polluting traffic, if we've got legal action threatening governments for failure to address air pollution and climate change, if we've got high incidence of road traffic congestion, these things are going to drive people away. So I know in a way I'm preaching to the converted. So it's not the solutions we need the mechanisms for change. I'm going to now thank our guest of honor for coming along. Andrew Lamb, thank you very much for taking the time to, I know in your busy schedule, to spare a few minutes with us this morning. I really appreciate your coming. I'm going to thank the speakers from our webinars and our workshop participants, Lin Tao, who will be joining us later this afternoon as a speaker, Andrea Wu, Phil Jones, Will Norman, who was in the UK, Dan Hill, who was in Melbourne, Tanya Moran and Tim Judd, who've come in from Perth, Australia. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Construction Industry Council, Henderson Land, China Chem, and Nina Hospitality in particular. I'd like to thank the organizing committee for this conference for their tons of work that they've done and their support that they've given me. And then I'd like to thank everyone here for coming along today, and I hope we can all learn and share. So things won't finish today with this conference. It's important that I think we take these actions. We've got this mobility workshop. We've got a lot of papers we're going to produce from this in our publication in Urbany and Urbanus, where we're going to put the proceedings of the conference together and publish that. We're going to we're doing some research, which I'll talk to you about later this afternoon, and we're going to be doing more publications. So this is just the start today, not the end. It's just a beginning. So with that, Andrew, I'd like to invite you up on stage, please, to give us some opening thoughts and inspirations. And I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.